All right, guys, you know this face is Greg Iverson. He's in Memphis, Tennessee, and so glad to have you here. Thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having us down. Beautiful new office here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, all things lending when it comes to the investment world, Greg's my man I go to. He did, I think, 19 for my wife and I.
Yeah,
last
exactly.
year and a half.
Yeah.
So,
in a matter of months, it felt like. Yeah.
That's right. He was just knocking them out one by one.
Absolutely.
And, the first couple ones, it was pretty easy. And even in our situation, my wife, great credit score, all those things, gainfully employed. Those 18 and 19 were tough.
Yes.
But
they
that's
get
okay.
exponentially harder. Yeah, absolutely. It's still well worth it in the end. But yes, as we find that as we scale them up with additional reserve requirements and just at the end of the day, more properties to account for. It's a little bit more complex process, but we love that. Repeat clients that we get a good relationship with, and likewise get a relationship with us. It just makes it that much smoother.
This is the key to using a preferred lender. A lot of people ask me, James, why do you have a preferred lender? Like, what's the deal there? Well, anybody can do your first loan on an investment property. It's getting that 5th, 6th, 18th, 19th property closed. And if you're not working with someone who is intimately knowledgeable with the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines when it comes to buying homes here in Memphis, Tennessee, then you're not going to have as much success. It's going to slow my team down, so I can't buy more properties and keep the wheel going.
Absolutely.
So Delmar and our other preferred lenders they might as well have an office here because they work in conjunction with our processes to get the job done. So we're delivering for you. If you want to learn about what a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac loan is, reach out to us. I'll connect you with one of our preferred lenders and the Iverson team here. So everybody's going to ask, what are rates?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So along that line, I think the partnership's huge. Particularly when there's out-of-state investors and then boots on the ground here, of course, in Memphis, having a good, strong investor discipline, but also I think having a lender that has walked in those shoes. I've bought a lot of rental properties myself, so I've been the client, and understanding it from that end of it, I think helps us to tailor the process. So, but along interest rates, James and I were just talking about, we've in March of 21, when Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac decided they were going to limit the percentage of investment in second home loans that would be held in those portfolios, it put a lot of us in flux, particularly the investment lenders like myself. Made it pretty difficult over a 12-month stretch to find attractive interest rates that met the demand for what people were after in terms of cash flow and things like that. And fortunately, as of probably really even in the last week, honestly, but the last month or two, we found that the secondary market is having an appetite or gaining an appetite again for that, which in turn has driven down interest rates. So as recently as this morning, we've seen 30-year fixed rates in the 20% down range, back in the high 5s with 25% down in the low 5s. So back to not COVID levels, but where we built the whole model that worked really, really well. Around the 2018 timeframe, we're right back there. At the same time, rents are exponentially higher than they were at that point, and of course, seeing great appreciation here in Memphis as well. So, we get the question all the time: Is it a good time to buy? And my biggest regret from 2005 to 2012, when I was buying rentals like a madman, is that I didn't buy more. And at that point, rates were 7.25%. I think we were just talking about. So, at the end of the day, time is on your side. It's not necessarily trying to time the interest rate market, but being in the market for a long period of time. But ultimately, with rates where they're at today, I think it's a phenomenal time to continue either start growing the portfolio or continuing like James has up to that 20 mark. So
I bought my first investment in 2005. 7.25% was my rate.
Been there.
Of course, I didn't hold on to it. Ended up selling that house. I saw it trade recently for $100,000 more than I paid for it.
Well, to that point, I sold a handful in 2019 and 2020 that I'm looking at now, and those are being resold at good returns from what I sold. So I think more. I think just more support to that long term, buy and hold, and I think again, it's just the longer you're at it, the more you see that snowball. It's not a quick overnight deal, but if you're in it for 10, 15 years, at least in my experience, it works out well regardless of what interest rates are doing, So
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, man, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
thank
of course. Thanks for having us.
Our clients, me and my family, and if you want to learn more about buying properties in Memphis, reach out to us. Let us connect you with Greg and his team, and start your journey of cash flow and a passive income.